How do I pick the right lawyer? Well, thanks for asking. This is related to another earlier post. So, you know, picking the right lawyer is certainly, an interesting and difficult task, right? How do I find out about this industry that I don't really understand, and how do I compare them, against their peers? First and foremost, I think that, even though oftentimes people equate, doctors and lawyers, and these are fields of practice and professions that the average public isn't necessarily aware of. I think they might defer to us a little bit too much. I think it's important that you understand what the lawyer is telling you and you have a good relationship with them. It's okay if the scenario is a little bit intimidating for you, but at the end of the day, it should not be overly intimidating because the lawyer, is refusing to share information with you, or, speaking above your head. So first and foremost, find someone that you are comfortable with. Ask them questions about their background. If they get challenged by that, if they feel like, who are you to question me, and their ego is, way up, above yours and things like that, that's probably not the right lawyer for you, right? So I'm happy when people, are putting me through the task, and, and it's all about approach, right? If, as long as you're respectful, ask me whatever question you want. I want to make sure you're doing business with me because you want to, not because you have to, or I threatened you in, or I forced you, or put unnecessary pressure on you. That's just ridiculous to me. So, make sure you understand what you're getting into. As I started to tell in another video, I had a very good friend of mine telling me a story about this lawyer that was representing his client previously. And, we were sitting there comparing notes over lunch just, a little while ago. And it occurred to me that, this attorney didn't even probably really know how bad he was doing and how much of a disservice he was doing to this client. That's extremely scary. We easily both compared notes of how there were definitely signs that this attorney was in over their head, and even the prosecutor knew they were in over their head. But submitting the person into questioning without getting any sort of immunity or queen for a day or proffer letter or anything like that from the feds is a huge no-no. And when I first started doing white collar defense years ago, I was obsessed and super scared that my clients, that something wrong could happen to them. And I asked any attorney that I knew, that I respected, inside or outside my firm, and probably 1,000,001 questions, and been there, done that. And I always wanted to make sure I was getting the best piece of advice for my clients, and I was obsessed by that. And this lawyer didn't seem to ask a lot of questions, and handled a lot of things, I think, definitely out of their depth. It's important for you as a client to understand who you have representing you in as much of the proceedings as possible. In this scenario that I'm talking about, where I heard about, from my friend, I don't, fault the client. It's a very intimidating process, and this was definitely more so, on the lawyer than on the client. So, the client doesn't know what they don't know. But I will tell you, if you're not clear and you don't feel 100% protected, for sure you need to make sure that that is known. And unfortunately, there are things that you can do after the fact once you find out how bad it is. And I don't know that anything this lawyer did, rose to the level of malpractice. It certainly, rose to a level that I would never ever have engaged in if I was out of my depth. But I've been doing it 25 years, and our comfort levels are different. This lawyer was definitely junior, but even more of a reason to be, kind of crazed about getting it right early up front. So that's my soapbox video for the day. Share with me, any questions you have about how to hire a lawyer. We here at Venerable are really, only representing business owners, handling business law matters, but, I'm happy to at least, field some questions about, general areas of law as well.